Hello guys, today we're gonna be talking about Activision Blizzard. For those that don't know what it is, that company is the one that made World of Warcraft, Diablo, Call of Duty and many other games. As always, we're going to first check our index and then we're gonna analyze the stock. Let's go! Here we are with the Black Swan Index as for October 28th of 2021. We will compare it with the ETF of QQQ and the ETF of SPY. For those that do not know what they are, we have other videos that explain them. During 1 year, we can see that QQQ made 36%, whereas SPY made 35%, and our fund did 48%, which means that we were able to beat the market for more than 10%. With common stocks and common ETF. Now let's go and see Activision Blizzard and if it's worthy or not to join our portfolio. Remember that any company that we will put into the Black Swan Index must fulfill the 3 blocks criteria. For those of you that do not know what that is, we have other videos explaining it. The first block has 3 parts. First, any company must have a market cap of $10 billion or more. We want them to be big. We don't like small companies into our portfolio. Why? We just believe they're not as safe. Maybe some people like them. Good for you if you do. We don't. We want big companies. Second, we need companies that at least have data from 2007 because we want to see how they behave during the crisis. Some people think that's not important. Some people want to invest in companies that just came out last month. Good for you as well. IPOs, good as well. We're not gonna do that. We go for historical data. And number 3, we need a company that had a reasonable drop. Something that happened in their price that does not constitute a criminal act. If we have those 3, then we pass the first block. Let's see how Activision Blizzard does. We have them now on our Excel file. I know it looks simple, but it gets the work done, and that's what matters for us. They have a price of 78, which makes sense. But the first thing of the first block, their market cap is higher than 10 billion? Yes, it is. They have 61 billions, so it passes. When were they incorporated into the Nasdaq market? It was in 2000. That also passed. It's more than 2007. And did they have a reasonable drop in price? Yes, they did. They're back to their July 2020. Now that we know that it passed the first block, we can move on to the second block. There are 6 characteristics on the second block that we have to take care of. First, we will see the shares outstanding and see if they issue more or they actually bought some shares. To see the shares outstanding, we're gonna go to microtrends.net. Here we can see the past 4 years and how many stocks were issued during each year. During 2017, they issued less than 1%, which is good for us. In 2018, they didn't even issue any share. That is amazing. In 2019 and 2020, they only issued 0.9%. This is also extremely good news if you want to buy this stock. Now we have to go and place our check in the shares outstanding part. Now we have to see their dividends. If they have more than 3.5% in dividends per year, then we will consider them as a dividend stock. If they have less than that, we will consider them as a value stock. As you know, the only growth stocks that we use in the Black Swan Index are actually ETFs. True, they're not stocks, they're a basket of stocks, but they work that way for us. That means that if we consider them value stock, that doesn't mean that they don't have dividends, and those that we consider dividend stocks do not have value. That is not what we're saying. It's just the way that we treat them in our fund. We treat growth stocks or ETFs or dividend stocks or value stocks in a different way. As we see, when we go to tradingview.com, we can check how many dividends do they have. And they have a 0.58% dividends. That means that for us, it's going to be not a dividend stock, but a value stock. Free cash flow is the next characteristic that we will have to see. We have a video dedicated for free cash flow. So if you had not seen it, please go there and see it. We can go to tradingview.com. And in tradingview.com, we can see the different cash flows, but at the end, we have the free cash flow of the company. What we want it to be, at least in the second block, as one of the characteristics, is to be able to pay or fulfill the payment of the dividends. It has, as for the 12th trailing month, a $2.5 billion, and the market cap of the company is about $60 billion. That means that at 0.58%, 0.5, 1% is like 6, so it would be like 260. It would be something around to 320 to 360 million dollars that they would have to pay in dividends. As we can see, they have 2.49. Therefore, we can come to our Excel file and also write a check. It took a bit longer for some reason, but here we are. As we can see, the net income of the company. Actually, we can put it with the years, so you can see it with the years as well. So, boop, here we are. So as you can see, during the 12th trailing month, we're at 2.6. The last year was 2.2, 1.5, 1.8. 200 millions, 900 millions. It does have grew up. There was a small drop in 2019. We will have to check that on the third block. But in general rule, the net income is growing. Therefore, we can go and also write a check. As for the revenue growth, we can see it in the same file. The total revenue has also been expanding again in 2019. Something happened with the company. I don't know what it is, but in this third block, we will have to evaluate that. So it also grew, so we have our check. Same as Activision Blizzard was fulfilling the three conditions of the first block in order to pass to the second one, we can now see that we also fulfill all of the possible characteristics in the second block, so we can pass to the third one. The third block is the longest one out of all of the blocks that we have. Here is where we will have to spend most of the time in order to do the due diligence of the company. That means that we have to check their financial statements. We have to see their future valuation. We'll also have to understand if there was any inside trading. We need to see their plans, the CEOs, how long had the management been there, and many other different assessments that will be mandatory in order to know if we will add this company into the Black Swan Index or not, as well as if you would like to add it in your portfolio. We can see the third block, it fulfills just 4 characteristics in a broad way. The first one will have to know when there are their upcoming earnings. We do this because the upcoming earnings are a date that affects the stock. So we want to make sure that we understand what happens that day. Second, we use a formula that comes from a book called The Little Book That Beat the Market. It's a little blue book. You should read it. It's amazing. In that book, we understand the importance of the PE ratio and the return on assets ratio. Knowing this, we will know which companies we want to focus in order to do the due diligence first and in order to add them or not into our portfolio. We can say that Activision Blizzard does seems to be a company that fulfilled the requirements in order to do the due diligence and to study it and maybe be able to add it into the portfolio. This is the process that we use for all of the stocks that are in the Black Swan Index, the one that defeat the market for at least 12% as for today's date. If you like the video, you like our analysis, please give us a like, that helps us tremendously, or write in the comments if you want us to analyze one of the stocks that you believe will make it to the index. Thank you very much and see you on the next video.